Hello, and welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm so excited for this. I have brainstormed on what this first video should be about. My friend told me to make it about something that I love. I don't think there's anything I love more than reading books. To be honest, I have always been a reader. I grew up in a family that loves to read. In primary school, I read the famous five series by Enid Blyton. And then in just one, I took my sister's book to school and I started to read it, the Twilight series. And I have one of the surviving books from her original collection.
Ew.
It is ugly, dirty, and run through. After I was done with the whole Edward Cullen and Jacob saga, I got into Hunger Games, and I am glad that I did because that is going to be the first book for this video. Evidence from my sister's collection, and this is mine. So, the Hunger Games, what is special about it? I think like 95% of the world has probably seen the Hunger Games by now. But before the movies were the books. And I read the books at a pretty early stage of my life and the movies quite later on because I did not think that the movies existed until like 2015 or 2016. So yes, Hunger Games, amazing, 10 out of 10. I have read it so many times and I don't think I will ever stop reading it. I love Katniss Everdeen, Tim Peter or Tim Gill. When I read the books at first I was Tim Gill, but then after seeing the movies, for some reason I became Tim Peter. Are you Tim Peter or Tim Gale? Let me know. After reading the Hunger Games series, I think I got into Wattpad because that was when I started writing. And so I exclusively read Wattpad books. To be honest, I read a lot of other books, but for some reason I do not remember them right now. All I know is that in 2021, I decided to join Bookstagram, and there was a really popular book during that time, and that book is Six of Crows. Now, I gave Six of Crows so many chances, and I am so glad that I did because Six of Crows is the second book on this list. Now, if you have read Six of Crows, you would know that that first chapter is kind of confusing because who are those people? And that was one of the reasons why it took me quite some time to get settled into reading the book. And I'm glad that I read the book. Getting into the book, I realized that you know what, I think fantasy is going to be my next best thing, my favorite genre, because I had never read anything like it. What do I love about the book? I love the characters, I love the world building, and I was so glad that I was able to find something that has, a different world than our world. So yeah, Six of Crows, I love the characters. They have a very safe space in my heart. I love Kazbreka and Inej and Jasper and Wyland. Would I change anything about the book? Hell no. It's perfect the way it is. And I also read Shadow and Bone by the same author, and it's also really good, but it's not going to make its way to this list. So after reading Six of Crows, I began to read more fantasy novels, and in 2023 or 2024 on Instagram again, I came across this book called Babel. Now, I do not remember the account that I saw it on, but this girl was literally convincing everyone, all of her followers, to read the book because it was the best book that she has ever read. And I love to take a challenge. I'm like, what do you mean is the best book you've ever read? And so I read Babel. Now, Babel is the only book that I have read that has made me scream out loud because of the plot twists. I was in so much shock that I screamed out loud, and then I sent a text to my brother and told him about the book, and I told him to also read the book, and he told me that it was the best book that he has ever read. I love how the book made me feel, and I love the plot. Obviously, I love Robin, I love his friends. That book was just like, it just came to my life at the perfect time. And that book has also changed the way it has changed my reading experience for the better, because I now love to read books that make you think, books that are intellectual, that are not just entertaining. Sometimes I like to read books to enjoy myself, but recently I find myself gravitating towards novels that are, you know, intellectual and also by the same author. The next book on this list is the Poppy War trilogy. I do not have any comments, just that this book made me cry so many times that it took me like a year to read the entire thing in the series. The first time I read this book, I don't think I was okay for like 1 week, the first book. And the first book, I think, is the only one that is annotated. I don't think that I read any book for quite a while after reading this book. My heart felt so heavy that I couldn't think of anything else. And that's one thing I love about R.F. Kwang's books, to be honest. She also has a book, Catabasis, that I have read and I love. I love the Poppy Wars so much. And if you feel like you have tears to spare, then you should definitely read this book. I'll be ending here. We have the Hunger Games series, we have Babel, Six of Crowdology, and the Poppy Wars series. So now that we have come to the end of this video, what kind of person do you think I am from my favorite books?